Hey, this is Layla, the regulator here, and I'm going to talk about rage and how to deal with it. Um, the thing about rage is that, especially black female rage, is that it's undiagnosed. It is a term that was coined by a black psychologist. I'm so sorry if I don't know the name. When I find the link, I will put it in there. Um, But if they have the symptoms of just people fighting over the age of 14, well into their 40s. I mean, physical fist fighting. That's why you see all these reality shows like Basketball Wives. Um, what's the one with Flavor Flav that's over now? Charm School, where it's just grown women, grown ass women fighting. And it's usually black women, unfortunately. Not all the time. There's other races that of women that fight, but unfortunately, black women seem to do have aggressive traits. Not all. So before you jump on me and want to fight me, not all, but very quick to argue, very quick to start an argument, confrontation, even up to the point of physical fighting. And there's a reason for this. In the black community, especially, um, mental health, going to therapy, talking to a psychologist or a therapist is looked down upon. Black people are always known to just suck it up, do what you have to do, deal with it. And unfortunately, especially for black females, it's looked down upon as you're weak. And it's so funny because Asian, white, other ethnicities of women are not really, they don't have that burden. You'll never hear strong Asian woman or strong white woman. It's always strong black woman because we were always, unfortunately, forced to just take a lot of the roles that men have because the men have left, usually, or because life is so hard, we have no choice. We have no time to be soft and feminine because no one's taking care of us. So we always have to take care of ourselves. Um, and that's a really sad thing. And this is where the rage comes in because with those two things of not going to, mental health, it being looked down upon in the black community, um, the burden of being a strong black woman, you need an outlet because it's going to come out one way or another. A person with strife and stress is going to come out, and this is where it manifests in rage and snapping at the drop of a hat and things of that nature. Have you ever bumped into a female like this and she wants to fight you? Oh, you bumped into me, bitch, fuck you, I'm gonna fight you, blah blah. Clubs fighting, people in clubs fighting, um, just people wanting to start for no reason. uh, these are the people that have this rage, and because of societal issues, they're suffering. Um, they're not allowing themselves to have outlet because they don't believe there's such a thing, and they're embarrassed to do so. I have never seen my mother cry my whole life, except maybe twice. Um, it's looked down upon. No one, when you cry, you're weak. And women, we are nurturers. We are emotional people. It's almost impossible for us to not be emotional. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we're supposed to do. We are created this way to create and nurture the children that will be leading this world. So we're supposed to have empathy and love and caring. But when you stifle this and you try to throw it in the back burner and you try to make like it's not there, it comes out. Fighting, of course, like I mentioned before, drinking, uh, just really irresponsible behaviors, cursing, and just being an overall jerk, bullying, gossiping, jealousy. These things come out when you have rage. Do you have rage? Well, there's several ways you can find out. Within the past 3 months, have you had a fist fight with someone? I mean, and what was the reason you did have a fist fight? Was it to defend yourself, or was it really because you were pissed? Um, Another thing is, have you even had a fight within the last 10 years? You should be over the age of 16. if you're watching this video. If you're younger, that's okay. But have you had any fights then? Physical fist fights with people? Do things annoy you very quickly? Just the sound of people talking annoys you, or you're just, if you see a certain woman, especially the way she walks or talks or certain things she says just gets on your nerves and you just hate her. It's not even a point of, oh, she makes me uncomfortable. It's the point that you really hate her and dislike her. And you spend a lot of your time socializing with other friends about how you dislike this person. How do you treat your children? Do you talk to them in a nice, cute, gentle way, or are you always yelling at them, screaming at them? These are things that you have to consider if you think you have rage. Now, if you said yes to one or more of the questions that I just posed to you, now what is the question? Well, the thing is that I want you to get out of your head. And I'm sorry if I excluded other races. I'm sure that rage period permeates through all races. However, I am dealing with this particular subject from my observations and my clients. So we're not all cut out here. But if you do have these problems, you have to recognize that you have them first. And more importantly than that, you have to recognize that there's nothing wrong with being sad. There's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with feeling hopeless and feeling weak. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not less than a person to feel this way. And trust me, everyone in this world, rich, poor, black, white, man, woman, feels this way. Now, they're going to tell you, of course not, because it's a dog-eat-dog world and they don't want to get taken advantage of. So you're not alone if you're feeling this way. You hate the way you look. You hate that you're 20 pounds overweight. You hate that you're $3,000 in debt. You hate all of this stuff. Recognize these problems that you have. Write down these problems that you have on a piece of paper. I always tell you to write down stuff. Write it down, because your brain is thinking about 20 things a minute. So as soon as that thought is to, oh, well, I have this problem, how do I fix it? 10 minutes is gone because you're already on the next thing. Please write these things down and look at it. It's okay to be fearful about it. It's okay not knowing what to do, but you're going to know what to do. There is a solution. Everything, I believe, with faith and practicality has a solution. You need to take your time and figure out how you will change that. And write down your steps to figure it out. And if you don't know, ask someone. Google it. Whatever information you have, ask me. Ask me. That's what I'm here for. Please email me. Okay? I'm on Layla Kyoto Facebook. You can also contact me on the blog. You have all the information down there. I will be here to help you. I'm here to help you free of charge here. So there's no excuse to solve your problems. Because you don't need to be snapping off at people. Getting into fights by the age of 20, 30, 40 is unacceptable, because animals fight because they really have no clear communication to have with the other animals that they're in contact with. So fighting is the answer. Okay? Humans, we are supposed to be on a higher plane. There's no reason to have a physical confrontation for anything. If you dislike someone, ignore them. Turn your back. They don't exist to you. If there's something you don't like about a person, don't talk to them. Don't put them in your cipher. There's no reason to fight. There's no reason to yell at people. If someone bumps into you on the street, they're the rude person. And obviously they're having a bad day if they're going to do that and not say sorry. So it's not for you to turn around and respond. Feel sorry for them. Say a prayer for them. They are obviously in a bad place and they don't know how to get out. Not for you to turn around and say, hey, well, who the hell do you think you are, blah, blah, blah. It's just a waste of negative energy. All of this is energy. Words and cursing and all of this is just wrong. I mean, you don't want that. You're on a different plane. You're on a different journey. So this is not something you want to do. So after you know what these problems are and you figure you're starting to make attempts to solve these problems, now it's time to learn how to meditate and relax. This is very important. The more relaxed you are, the more clear your head is to solve the problems you have. And you're not alone in this. People have problems all the time. That's how life is. Um, and I'm here to tell you the real truth. Okay, it's and I'm talking to the black females of this country now. We're not looked at as feminine. We're not looked at as damsels in distress and need of help. We're not. We have this stigma wrapped around us that we're strong and we don't need anyone, and therefore it's not, I don't know whose fault it is. I'm not going to say it's our fault. It's not, I'm not going to say it's society's fault. I don't know where it really originates from. But unfortunately, this is the stigma on us. And it forces us to hold these feelings in. But I'm telling you, whoever's responsible to have given us this strong black woman thing, I want you to throw that out of your mind. I want you to be strong, of course, but you're allowed to feel. You are allowed to express your feelings, and not in a negative way. If you want to cry, that is what tears are for. They are to physically take the sadness or even happiness out and just put it out there. Don't allow, you're not weak if you cry. You're not weak at all. You are letting it out. You have to let it out, because if you do not let this emotion out, if you do not cry, it will build up and build up and build up, and it's going to come out in really bad ways, because it's like a toxin and has to get out, and the body recognizes this, so it will say, you know what, I'm just going to yell at people, just get it out, get out the endorphins, or I'm going to drink, or I'm going to destroy stuff, or I'm going to yell at my kids. It has to come out. Don't let it come out this way. Let it come out in a very natural way. If you need to cry, find somewhere to cry. I want you to write stuff that would make you cry, and just cry. And I promise you will feel better when you get it out. And there's nothing wrong with crying. You are a woman. There's nothing wrong with crying. And a man, there's nothing wrong with a man crying. I actually, my one of my colleagues read a book. It was LL Cool J, believe it or not. I didn't really think much about him either way, but she was telling me about the book, and she said there was, when there was a part of his career where he was just doing a lot of bad stuff. He never said drugs, but he was like having sex with all these women. He was cheating. He was just being mean to people, abandoning his family, abandoning his friends, and he was in a really bad state. And a lot of things happened that it was really scary. I would suggest you read the book. Sorry about the title again. But anyway, he ended up finding some spiritual guidance, and someone gave him some spiritual literature. He read it, and he said he felt this burst of emotion, and he cried. He just cried for hours and hours and hours. He just kept on crying and crying and crying. And he said after that, he just felt so good, and he felt like there was a rebirth of him to start again and to begin again. And look where he is today. He has a beautiful family. He's happy. He's very successful. So in regards to the rage, don't let it take over you, ladies. It's okay to cry, but do not snap on people. It's time to work on yourself, and it's time to be strong from the inside out. Layla, signing off.